Meet two people, same age, same city, same income, $62,000 a year. Both grew up in tough households, both worked hard to get here. But here's where they split. Person A earns $62,000 and somehow, despite trying, has $340 in savings at the end of every month. Person B earns $62,000 and has quietly built $34,000 in reserves over the same 4 years. Same income, same starting point, $33,660 gap. The difference isn't discipline, it isn't intelligence, it isn't even habits, not exactly. It's something installed much earlier, something most people are carrying right now and have no idea it's even there. I'm Jasper. I spend more time than is probably healthy decoding the financial patterns most people never get shown clearly. If you've ever felt like money behaves differently in your hands than it does in everyone else's, and you can't figure out why, subscribe, because that feeling has a name, and today we're going to decode exactly what it is. In 2013, researchers at Princeton and Harvard published a study that quietly changed how behavioral economists think about poverty. Their finding was this: scarcity doesn't just affect your bank account, it physically reorganizes your cognitive priorities. People operating under resource scarcity, financial, food, time, showed measurably reduced performance on standard IQ tests, not because they were less intelligent, because their mental bandwidth was already consumed. The researchers called it the bandwidth tax. When you grow up without enough, your brain isn't just stressed, it's restructured. And here's what nobody tells you about that restructuring. It doesn't reverse automatically when the scarcity ends. Here's what's actually happening. When you grow up in scarcity, your brain doesn't just note the experience and move on. It builds a program, a survival operating system designed specifically for the environment you were in. And that program has one job: keep you alive, keep you safe, keep you from running out. The rules have rules. Spend it before it disappears, because it always disappears. Stock up when you can, because you never know when you can't. Feel guilty having it, because having it means losing it is coming. Distrust stability, because stability was always temporary. Those rules weren't irrational. In that environment, they were exactly correct. They kept you functioning. They kept you safe. The program worked. But here's the mechanism most people never see clearly. The program doesn't know the environment changed. It was installed when you were 8 or 10 or 14, and it's still running now, on completely different hardware in a completely different life. Same rules, different reality. Let's decode what this actually looks like in practice, because this isn't abstract. This shows up in 4 specific, recognizable patterns. Pattern 1, panic spending. Money arrives and something activates immediately. Spend it, use it, convert it into something physical, because money in an account feels temporary, fragile, like it could vanish before you get a chance to use it, so you use it first. Not recklessly, not stupidly, just quickly. The program is running its original logic: secure the resource before it disappears. 20 years ago, that logic kept you safe. Today, it quietly prevents wealth from building. Pattern 2, compulsive stockpiling. The opposite response, same root. Hoarding food, buying duplicates, never throwing anything away, keeping things long past usefulness because getting rid of them feels dangerous, because the program remembers what not having felt like, and it never wants to feel that again. Pattern 3, guilt around having. This one is subtle, almost nobody names it clearly. You reach a level of stability you once only dreamed about, and instead of feeling relief, you feel vaguely wrong about it, like you don't deserve it, like something is about to correct the situation. That's not low self-esteem. That's the program flagging an unfamiliar state as suspicious. This doesn't match the baseline. Something must be wrong. Pattern 4, self-sabotage at the threshold. This is the most painful one. You get close to genuine financial stability and something derails it: an unnecessary purchase, a bad decision, an opportunity ignored. And looking back, it almost feels deliberate. It wasn't deliberate, but the program has a ceiling, a comfort zone built around a specific level of scarcity. Exceed it too far, and the program pulls you back because unfamiliar safety feels more threatening than familiar struggle. Now let's go back to those two people. Person A, $340 in savings after 4 years. Run the math on their spending pattern. Panic spending activated every payday, compulsive stockpiling adding $200 to $300 in unnecessary purchases monthly, self-sabotage pulling them back every time savings approach $2,000, program running perfectly, wrong context. Person B, $34,000 in reserves. Same income, same starting point. The difference, person B could name the program, could see it running in real time, and could pause just long enough to let the instruction pass without executing it. That pause, that single moment of recognition between the trigger and the response, that's worth $33,660 over 4 years, and compounding interest on top of that for decades. So what actually changes things? Not willpower, not discipline, not trying harder. The first move is always recognition, seeing the program running, naming it. That's not me making a bad decision. That's an old instruction executing automatically. That gap, that single moment of recognition between the trigger and the response, that's where change actually starts, because you can't override a system you can't see. The people carrying this pattern the hardest are often the most financially capable people in the room. They survived environments that would have broken others. They developed resilience that most people never had to build. The program that followed them isn't a flaw. It's evidence of survival. The work isn't erasing it. It's updating it, teaching it that the environment changed, that the threat level dropped, that the rules written for scarcity don't apply to the life that exists now. The shadow doesn't disappear the moment you name it, but it loses its power to operate invisibly, and invisible programs running on outdated instructions are the most expensive software most people never know they're running.